Hello everybody. Maria reminded me I hadn't been making any videos for a while. So she said, hey, might want to post something one of these days. Probably, but I've been so busy either dodging rain, which we just had, a deluge lately. I mean, it's been horrible. We had rain so bad the one day I really wasn't sure when I came home if this was going to be standing. Neighbors lost a tree, other people lost stuff, and I didn't know this would be standing when I got home because I was out when it came through. But hey, the building was good. I'm impressed. Since last time, let's see, I don't know if I showed you guys, but I got the small wall in that has the doorway into the office. That's really what's going to the entranceway. And then I started on this front wall. The other night I marked out all the sill and the top plate, and this morning I came out and I fastened it down the way I always do with the hinges on the other side so it flips up. And then I started pre-cutting all the wood last night. All those pieces of wood, and this is going to be an odd wall because there are 4 windows. You kind of see the 4 big holes there. It's actually going to be a good insulated wall, I'll tell you, because there's just no wall to insulate. There's going to be a little bit below the windows and a little bit above, and then some wood, which is not a good insulator per se for insulation value. Not that electrically it's great, but as far as insulation goes for heat and cold, it's not that good of an insulator. And it's a solid piece of wood between each of the windows, and just because there's no room when you put big windows in for anything else between. And I pre-cut that the other night. In fact, I think you can still see, let me spin the camera around, there's still a pile over there. Those are all the pre-cut pieces that go underneath the windows, and I still gotta get some for above, and I'm just about to start putting those all in. But like I said, I pre-cut everything, and then today I went and started pre-assembling each of the pieces that go between the windows at the 2 ends of the wall. The sill plate and the top plate both should fit right between those walls. I measured them, checked them, everything else obviously the one's already in, and the other one I checked, it's fine. There should be about maybe just a little bit less than 3/4 inch left on each end of the wall, a gap between the last stud and the next where it joins into the wall, so I'll put a piece of filler in there later. But I didn't want to having this going to force the wall, I want to make sure that the bottom and top still actually come in contact, same as I do with everything else. That's about it. I'm going to continue onward and up with bigger, better things. So you guys just want to watch for a while, I'll just let the video play out and you can see where it goes. Alright guys, we will talk to you later. Close. Say a 1/4 inch. Just want to make sure I get it close. I don't know what you want to call them, the studs, the separators, the assemblies between each of the windows. They're now nailed in to the bottom plate. So I already have the sills cut for the bottom of the window, a double sill. I have a top sill plate, whatever you want to call it, cut for the top of the window. The only thing I didn't cut were the little pieces that go on top of the fillers, cripples, whatever you want to call them, on top of the window. That'll go up to the top sill because I want to double check the size before I cut. I think they measured out to 18 inches if I remember, but you know, once you start stacking up air in that, I'd like to check it before I do it, especially since I need, I think, 16 of them. But the bottom ones are all cut, they're ready to go in, so I'll do those first. And I think we're under control. Oh, something different about this wall. You might notice there's no real headers. Every other window in this building has a header. These do not have a header. And you might go, oh my God, you forgot it. Because there's going to be a roof coming down on top of that. Well, surely, you know, the roof coming down on top of those windows will crush it in the window. They'll actually cause them to warp, and then the windows won't open. We'll have a disaster. Alright, on the top of this entire wall, I am going to put a double LVL. I'm going to go all the way to where the 9-foot line is, finish it, cap it, and then I'm going to put the LVL up. The LVL will actually still take the weight of the entire roof. That's what will be supporting it. These studs will be supporting the LVL. The LVL will also extend out and give me a little bit of a porch, and that'll make a little more sense once I put it up. I've got a 22-foot LVL. It's only a 14-foot wall. I've got two of them. I'm going to space them. I'm going to put a piece of insulation in between them, and they will cap this so that, like I said, the roof will rest on the LVL. The LVL, they're actually going above a wall, and you can do it this way. There's nothing wrong with trying to frame this way. There's actually several ways of framing. You know, the conventional, what you've seen me do up till now, the hair goes directly on top of the window. Simple. Everybody does it that way. You could, if you wanted to, push the header right up to the top of the window and put it all the way to the top of the wall and put it right above, or right under the top plates. Nothing wrong with doing that. Again, it's handling the load, so it doesn't really matter. I've seen it done that way. In my case, this one, rather than put a little, you know, 4 little ones together here, and then I'd still have to worry about how the heck I'm going to support the little porch, I'm just going to put a double and put it all the way to the top above the roof, if you will, actually into the 2-foot energy heel area, and that will support all the roof rafters and also make a little bit of a porch out front. So anyways, it'll all come together. You guys will see that when it comes up. Hey, all right, Sunday morning, and Maria's off to church singing away, and I'm out here pulling off plastic and trying to dry everything out and trying to get the water off. It rained, of course, again last night, so I'm glad I put plastic on everything. I worked till it was already dark, I know, the afternoon before I even started to cover things back up, and I got the bottom part of the wall done, top part's in. I just got to finish that top section up there above the windows, and that's still a lot of pieces. There's still, I think, 16 pieces of what I got to cut for up there. I didn't want to cut them too early, nor I have a size. The computer tells me what size they are, but do you really trust it? It's one of those, I think I'll check first and make sure, because sometimes you get a stack up error where certain things end up higher or not. You know, you got the jack stud there, and then you're going to put 2 sills on top, and by the time you get on top of that, you're going, well, if they're all cut exactly right and the wood's exactly the right size, sure, they're going to be 18 inches, but if the wood's a little thin or a little thick and you cap it cut on one side of the line or the other, might not. Anyhow, just want to check it out before I start cutting away, but we will work on this one today and see if we can get ready to go up. And Dobie's supposed to be out of his house today. It's sold day, it's closing day, so he says he'll have the telehandler back here today. He's been using the heck out of it. I've seen the truck go back and forth, I don't know how many times. They've been taking load after load after load over to store it in a container and that. Man, big job. And me, I'm a little bit of panic mode because I'm realizing, darn, this week it's going to turn to August, and I don't even have half a building left. You know, started yet the bottom floor, and never mind putting the top floor and putting in what do you call it, the trusses and everything. And I gotta get the trusses on order because they told me they could be at least 8 weeks out, 8 to 10, I think they said. 8 weeks puts me all the way into October already. So I'm like, oh, panic mode. But just keep forging forward. There's no use worrying about it. I'm in the middle of it. You can't stop. You can't change your plans now. So we'll push. But do a quick once over the whole site. You can see water all over. It's actually drying pretty quick. It was still raining when I got up this morning, but it's been windy a day and it's drying. I already pulled the plastic off everything, and so unfortunately you can see where the low spots are on the, what do you call it, pad 2. That whole wall seems low in that back corner. I wonder why my wall dipped a little bit. It's enough. I won't say it's a lot, but it's enough. You can see the water sits all the way along. But anyway, it's all good. Sun came out. Put my little telephone on with some speakers and see if I can listen to maybe another History Channel or history event or something like that. I've been listening to the history of Canada lately. It's long. I think it's 16 parts. Each part is almost 2 hours, something like that. Just incredible. But hey, it's good for me. I like learning stuff while I'm working away, so it keeps me out of trouble. Anyhow, guys, you take care of yourselves. We will update you in a while. Maybe we'll, like I said, if we get the telehandler back, maybe we can lift this later today. If not, tomorrow for sure. Alright guys, we'll talk to y'all later. Hope you're all having a great day. Bye-bye. Hey guys, still working on my wall. Just about done though. Just to show you, Maria had a little bit of a laugh over this one. You see how many bands there are, how many straps to hold it square? When I started putting the top pieces on, I see they were going to start pushing out the top plate a little bit. Just because you're pounding them in, you want to be tight. You don't want them to push out and be oversized, but you want them to be size for size. And that means when you put them in, they go a little sideways and the top plate started pushing. And so I pulled out the straps and I said, that's fine. Strapped it all together. And it worked perfectly. I have got the top plate down square onto the studs and onto every one of those little spacers, and I think she worked out fine. We'll find out when I stand it up, but just thought I'd show you guys before I pop the bands on it. You can see I've got one pulled all the way across and one on top of every king stud pulling in, and they're tight enough you can actually play a song on them. They actually make a note when you pull them. So just want to show you guys what I'm up to. Just got a couple little things to do, touch up and pull all the bands, and Dobie brings back the, or back it's his, when he brings over the telehandler, it'll be time to stand it up. Alright guys, we'll talk to you all later. Bye bye. Another little family out there. We don't know what they are. I think they might be ducks, but we're just not sure. They're just going back into that corner there. I'll have to, this is full zoom at 400. That's as much as I've got with this camera. I don't know. Maybe we can blow it up and see. Alright guys, and you can see our other guy though here. One over there, more over here. They're all getting pretty big. Alright guys, we'll talk to you later. Alright guys, Tuesday morning. Seems like I've been with forever without that machine. I missed it. Not mine, I'm just borrowing it, but boy, it seems like forever. It's amazing how much you get to depend on it. Oh, anyhow, I'm just, thank God that Dobie didn't sell it. I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he kept it just for me. Maybe he kept it for his own use, but thank goodness he didn't. He's, I think I mentioned earlier, my farmer across the street sold his farm. He's been for sale for years, and he finally sold it. Boy, have I got some timing. And his skid steer that I used all the time, that's gone. A few other pieces of equipment is gone. It's like, man, oh, I have to start renting equipment or begging for it. But this one he left, so I thank him for that one. He's going to just leave it here, he says, for now, because he's got he's living out of his RV for a little while. They're going to go do some traveling in that. So, but he said leave this beast here. So I said thank goodness. So I give him a lot of thanks for that one, Dobie. I appreciate it. And anyhow, I have strapped the wall. I put the piece of wood across the top. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'll pull the top off of it. And I have strapped her all up. And hopefully got both straps relatively equal now. and we're ready to give a lift. So I thought I'd let you guys watch. All right, guys, you take care of yourselves. And it's up. Good lift. Anything that doesn't break a wall is a good lift. Doesn't kill me, doesn't break a wall, and it's good. And that's the front of the building. You can now maybe take a little more idea of what's going to be there. 4 windows facing the front, one on the side, door on there, a little bit of a porch above the door, and that'll be like a shed roof going up into the main building at an angle. Gives a little definition to the front, a little shape to the front, a little more room in the office too. If you're taking up you're not taking the entrance way as part of it, that's a pretty small office. Darn, worked. So far so good. All right, let's see where we keep going, guys. It didn't take too long. Camera's only been running for 20 minutes. So that's including moving everything around. So, and it's up. I will put it in place. I will fasten in place, I should say. Put the top plate on it and start thinking about the hair. I do have one little, it's a minor issue, but it's, let me see if I can move the camera and show you guys. It was my own doing. I didn't want the 2 edges of the walls to push out and hold out the wall. And it's the way I've done all of my walls. But that means, I can kind of show you, there is a gap. You can see right through all the way along. But the sill does touch at the bottom and top. That means the wall is the correct width. And I've got to think about how to fill that, because obviously, I mean, I was going to put a couple blocks in there, top, bottom of the window to hold it, and that'll fasten it, that's fine. But you really need to put some kind of edge there, because you're going to on the inside have drywall or whatever covering inside, hit that corner, because it's an inside corner and there's nothing there really fastened to it. Now it won't kill me, you fasten 3/4 inch back, who cares? Then I fill that gap, but I need at least a couple spacers in there. I think it's going to work out to be, according to my calculations, just slightly less than 3/4 inch. If it is, that means a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, which is really 3/4 inch anymore, will fit, and I just cut a sliver and shove it in. But we will have to play with that one just a little bit. That was the only playing I knew that was going to happen, but I just wasn't quite sure how I'm going to deal with it yet. So, anyways, it's in, it's up. We are happy campers. We can keep on trucking. Good day, friends and family and neighbors and anybody else who's watching. All right, so front wall is in. The two sides have the, it's a long story. I ended up not liking the way the one corner was on the right hand side. It was just I don't know what moved or what shrank or what swelled, but it just wasn't right. The one piece of wood was almost a quarter inch longer than the other, so I knocked the corner apart on the existing wall on the right hand side, reset the corner, re-put it on, and then I lined up this wall with it, screwed the wall into it. Because I had the band off the top to move that side wall, I was able to force a 3/4 inch piece of wood in on each side, solid, that filled in that gap I was talking about in the last video. Forced it in, got it right, pulled everything tight with the band. You can still see the band on the top, strap, pulled it all. Enough screws in there on each side to screw that wall in. The two are held together tight. I think there's like a dozen screws on each side. And then I put the top plate on, make sure it was correct. It's in there, good, straight, tight. Did the little clamp again, pulled it all straight. So that wall is finished. The only thing I'm going to do now, hopefully try beating the weather because we got rain coming in. I'd love to get the LVL on top of it. And that's the next thing I was talking about, because you can see there is no header on that wall. And that roof is coming down, so at the end of the rafters are going to rest on that wall. So I need a header on it. And as I think I told you in the last one, I'm actually going to put an LVL on top. It'll also stick out and form part of the roof over top of the patio out there, or the little, I guess you would call it patio, whatever, in front of the door, the little area, just so the water doesn't come in the door and snow doesn't come straight down and everything else. So that's today's job. So we're going to go put together an LVL header, and I want to insulate it, even though it'll be up in the area that's in the energy heel, I guess you'd call it, of the trusses. I still would rather have a insulated one up there. That way the cold won't penetrate up in that area as much. Alright, that's today's job. So we will show you guys maybe when we start lifting in or putting it in. Alright, I hope everybody's doing well. You take care of yourselves. Bye bye. Hey guys, just a quick video. I realized I never showed myself really building most of the headers, I don't think, and especially not one of these large ones. This is the one going over the whole front of the building, and I just wanted to show you guys, because I always talk about an insulated header. I never really show what I mean, because they're built pretty well the same way for even above every window here. What I do is I put the LVL or 2x10s or whatever I'm using on the outside, and in the center you can see the foam. I actually take 2 inches of foam, and 2.5 if I'm using dimensional lumber, not an LVL. And in the center of it, the cavity is actually filled with foam. And that will give me an insulation on the header themselves. And I just block the ends. That forms, in this case, because of the LVL, they're 1.75 inches. Put two of them together, gives you a 2-inch gap in between, so my 2-inch gap is actually foam. If you use dimensional lumber to make up a 5.5 inches, you have to use 2.5 inches of foam. And that's where I use a piece of this 2-inch and another piece of 1/2 inch. So anyhow, I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. Alright, I hope everybody's having a great day. Bye bye. Alright, so I'm not sure what you guys can see, but we lost our light about 8:30, and it doesn't help, it was kind of a rainy day. At least we had wind and it dried everything up. But the inside of the LVL finished. The only reason I didn't do the end, you might be wondering, that's going to be hanging over. That's actually going to be just a porch under. There's no heat. It's going to hold up a little piece of a roof that extends over the door. So that part didn't have to be insulated. I stopped right where the wall stops. And that's also why the change, because the beam sticking out will only be 5.5 inches, a 2x6. But the other piece of wood there, I left it a little longer, a 2x8, because that'll give me a little bit of a lip inside so I can hang a ceiling on. I don't have to put a piece of scrap there later, so made life easy. I just put some spacers in there. If you're wondering what these all are, they're just spacers to hold the actual, the other LVL at the correct spacing, because it would be hard to hold it with a piece of foam exactly. So that should hold them. Another 2 inches should make the other LVL flush with the outside of the 2x6. And let's see, that's about it. Otherwise, we didn't get that much done today, but we did have to run around today. I almost forgot. I ran down to Curtis Lumber. Well, first I ran to the bank. I had to pick up a check. 22,000 some odd plus tax came out to 23,600 or something like that. 23,600. That'll put a kink in your bank account. For the trusses, I had to pay for them in full before I ordered them. So, but they're on order, so we'll see how long they get here. They said 8 to 10 weeks, and they actually come directly from the manufacturer. Curtis is just a reseller, if you will. They even get delivered by the manufacturer, and these are coming from Canada. I got a bunch of quotes from a couple places. The last time on the house, I ended up going through Lowe's, and they were actually pretty good. They were cheaper than everybody, but this time they were, I think, around $5,000 more or something like that, or maybe more than that, 28 or something like that. Yeah, $6,000 more. So I went for Curtis. So we'll see where it all goes. Alright guys, you guys have a good night. We're just going to do a quick cleanup and get ourselves inside. Maria has a funeral to sing at tomorrow, and that's early in the morning, so we'll get up, and while she's gone there, we'll get up and get our butts in gear and get out here. Alright guys, you take care of yourselves. Have a great night. Bye bye. Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Alright, so I don't know what I'm doing. What else is new? I didn't realize how heavy, well, I just didn't even think about how heavy that beam was. When it was one by one, you saw me flip around each side of it, but when I got it nailed together, I can't even flip it on its edge to get it in place. So, I couldn't even figure out how to get out here to get the crane on. I almost thought I'd have to, or get the lift on. I almost thought I'd have to clean off the whole pad to get the lift up there, but I went back to my roller idea. I used crowbars and that guy up on some 4-inch plastic tubing, and sure enough, I was able to roll it out. So I got it out part way, and I got the machine, was able to pick it up. So I said, great, now I got it up. Now what the heck do I do? The problem is I need it flipped up on its edge, and I can't flip it up. I've tried and tried. I've tried everything now. There's only two things I can think of. One is to try getting a long board on it. And I think you guys saw me do this once before. I got like an 8-foot board and to put it on it and try to use it as a lever and get it up. And that might work, but I've got to push away from me because I'm liable to push it right off the machine. The only other thing I can think of is to drop it on the ground on purpose, get the edge to dig in, and use the forks to flip it up. I don't know which will work. We'll think about this for a minute. But you guys can watch it anyhow while I'm having fun here with it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I want to get this baby in there. Get in place today. Always something. All I need is a full crew, and you can just lift up and flip it. Or somebody knew what they were doing. Either one would work. Let's go give it a shot. Talk to you guys in a while. I actually did the calculation once. I was trying to stand something up. It might have been the walls when I first started. I was thinking about doing the same way or something similar. And the first part, when you're pulling from absolute flat, trying to get it to start tipping up, is horrible. I mean, it's just a tremendous amount of force to lift it. Once you get it about, I don't know, not even far, 30, 40 degrees, whatever it is up, all of a sudden it becomes much easier to tip up. So, now we got it up. Now the idea is to lower it on the fork so it'll tip it back over. I'll back up, see if I can come under it, and maybe I can, even if I slide it a bit or have to lift each end or something, I can get it up onto the forks. And then I'll have to be real careful not to tip it while I'm carrying it up onto that roof. So that would be the key, to carefully move it once it's up there. Take the very back and forth is high, but then you got to be real careful backing out, because it's only going to be sitting on wood blocks or something, whatever I decide to sit on up there, so I can get. You ever say not fun? Alright, we'll figure it out. Can't be rocket science. Oh, I can breathe. That was a real tense moment. That beam is just top heavy. It wants to tip no matter what I do, and it's only kind of balanced. And of course, the 2x6s under aren't perfectly flat, so it's kind of sitting there rocking, and I thought I was going to drop it. And I had to get the forks out, so I don't know if you saw that part, but I ended up lifting it on, putting one end down, if you will, on the left side. And on the right side, I had a 4x4 under it, so I could slide the forks out. Then I went over to this end that's hanging over the opening, that's hanging over the doorway, lifted it up just slightly, pulled the 4x4 out, and just gently let it down. All right. So now, hopefully, if we don't tip it, we gotta cross our fingers, because I don't want it. It's really not stable up there. But I gotta pull it. It's about 4 inches towards the road. I gotta pull it back this way. Now I gotta level it with that front edge, and then nail it in place. Maybe put a support or two on there just to hold it temporarily until I get the rafters on. That'll tie it all in and hold it. And at least maybe things make a little more sense now, because I know I told you guys this is not the normal way you put a window together. There's no headers, but now you can see this does become the header. the whole thing becomes a large member that will take all the way of the roof rafters coming down. They're going to come from that back wall of the shop towards this way, little shed roof or whatever. You can see how I've got the beam hanging 5 feet over the front there, and then there's 2 feet of eaves, so that'll give it a 7-foot overhang in the front, and it'll all be self-supporting. You won't need a post or anything. And you can also maybe understand too, and it's a little bit of an odd thing I should draw out and show most people, because most people don't understand why. Here, let me zoom in. A typical house, older style, there's one right across the street. You can see the windows. They end up right above the eaves. They almost touch the eaves of the house. Most houses are kind of like that. Look at that house was built in the 50s. See how the windows go right up into eaves. That means your roof rafters are very small. They literally, the rafters would come and touch the ceiling of the house, or in this case the ceiling of the shop, and that would only give you, if you're using 2x8s, it'll give you 7¼ inches of insulation. If you're using 2x10s, they give you 8¼ or whatever, 8.5, whatever it is. I guess more than that, 9¼ whatever it is. Anyhow, almost no insulation though. You only get as much insulation as the depth of the rafter, and that's not much. And all the new energy codes, the Vermont Energy Code and all the new codes, suggest that you want the insulation to continue full depth right to the edge of the wall. Why wouldn't you? Who cares if you got, people say I have 2 feet of insulation in my ceiling. Yeah, at the peak of it, but not at the edge. To get 2 feet at the edge, you need 2 feet above the outside wall to fill with insulation. So in this case, we've already got a 16-inch LVL, plus we got 3 inches of lumber there, a cap on the top and the bottom, and then the rafters themselves will take up whatever, 5-6 inches, so we'll have 24 inches of room right above. And really, I won't put 24-inch insulation. I'll probably put 18 or 16 or whatever, 19 even, whatever, build it right up to this. Then the rafter will come up, and that'll let air circulate under, because again, you don't want to put anything touching the roof. You want air to circulate. One of my buddies, Chris, just posted a whole article about that, showing a picture how people thought they were being real smart and they're spraying, that spray foam. Oh, it solved everything. They sprayed it on the bottom of their attic roof. Yeah, except it didn't breathe, and it was trapping moisture in from the top underneath the shingles, and from the bottom, because it couldn't breathe through this foam, and rotted the whole roof out. I mean, the whole thing's just rot, literally. You always want air circulating so everything doesn't rot. Anyways, the whole thing you can get into, it's a science in itself. But for now, I will try, without tipping this if possible, crossing my fingers, I'll try to be real gentle to get that outside edge in line with the outside edge of the building, and get the edge out in the road lined up. Then I'll nail it, and then I'll put, maybe I'll even put a brace across somewhere, 1 or 2, just to hold temporarily lace it until we get rafters tied in and everything. But that was a good day's work. That was touchy. That was a little bit of touch and go. I was a little worried about that one. Maria said she was watching, not trying to figure out what I was doing, but I think we did pretty good with that one, considering. All right, guys. So you can just watch for a while. Just let the camera go. But breathe again. All right. We talk to y'all later. Hey guys, one more quick video. I'll take the camera, it's getting damp out here. Okay, I have nailed the entire other side, leveled and nailed it from the other side. And I put two small supports up, spacers if you will, from the wall to it. You can just see the edges of them up there. One at each end, so that'll hold the correct width of it. And it'll also give a lot more support to it because it's now supported off the wall. And I just screwed them in temporarily till the roof rafters come on. So that's pretty well done. The only thing I need to do is to drive a set of nails from this side at an angle down to hold the two together. I'm going to try to do that tonight. Yeah, I just brought out my spotlights and it's getting late. I was going to go grab some supper, but I think I'll get this done instead. Or they'll be closed by the time I'm done. But that's what you get for living in Vermont. We roll up the sidewalks when the sun goes down. But it's all good. But I'll get this finished up tonight. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, they say, from 7 o'clock on all day. So I think it's going to be a washout. But that's why I want to try getting this finished. And this is the end of part one of the building. I can go on to the other side. Maybe on Monday, if it clears up, I'll start laying out the walls for the back. Anyhow, guys, that's the excitement. All is well here in Jericho. I think Maria said maybe she'll put all these videos together and see if we can get one together out there for you guys. But I hope everybody's doing well. Alright guys, well hey, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all did well. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up, and if you want any comments, you have any questions or anything else, please put them down in the comments. I'll gladly answer them. And if you want to see when the next one comes up, because they're kind of sporadic. You know, sometimes one every week, and then sometimes you don't get any for a month. So if you want to know when the next one comes up, just hit subscribe and they'll send you an email or a reminder when the next one comes up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Bye-bye.